The 6 biggest Commander storylines.
It is caught!
Delivered at 6 o'clock sharp. It's the Pick 6 at 6.
I'm going to be their biggest and harshest critic, but I'm also their #1 fan.
All right, and here's how we're going to do this today. We are going to pick 6 players, 3 apiece, stars of the game. We cannot pick the same players. So you and I each kind of get our own 3 stars of the game, if you will. So do you want to go first? You want me to take the first pick?
I will let you take the first pick because he's the easiest and obvious one.
If it's that easy and obvious, then why don't you go ahead?
Okay. Well, Sam Howell.
Okay, I don't know that it's that obvious.
Oh, you didn't think it was that obvious?
No, I mean, Sam was on my list for sure, but tell me why you think it's that obvious.
Well, first of all, again, as you alluded to in 1st and 10, just how resilient this guy was. You know, the offense didn't get off to all that of an impressive start, and then, you know, to be trailing 21-3, things not going our way. It seems, you know, it would be easy for a young quarterback of his stature to, you know, get rattled a little bit, but everybody always talks about Sam Howell, how he doesn't, you know, get down, and he's always, you know, a little afloat and things of that nature, and he showed that, you know, being able to mount this comeback. I would say, you know, there are some concerns, just minor concerns, you know, being able to take 4 sacks and then also having a lot of his passes deflected off the line. Those are the 2 things that, you know, I would love to see him improve and, you know, work on. But outside of that, Craig, his poise in the pocket, you know, being able to, you know, get the ball to his playmakers, Terry McLaurin, Jahan, he showed me sort of kind of what we want in a franchise QB. I don't want to jump the gun. I don't want to jump the gun just yet. You know, there's still more to see out of this kid.
Got a long way to go. Franchise QBs don't have one game.
You're right.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. But, you know, 3 starts into his Commander's career, I like what I've seen out of Sam Howell so far.
How could you not? They're 3-0, and he's played well in all 3 games. I don't disagree that he's like he was probably 1, 2, or 3 for me. Like he was very high on this list. Sam was very, very good yesterday. He still holds the ball too long at times. His footwork is still not matched up to the progression at times. He's short, and some quarterbacks that are short never get balls batted. He seems to get a couple, and what I'm waiting for is a devastating ball that gets picked that would be a wide open touchdown. If it's 2 inches higher, that gets picked for like a pick 6 or something. That's going to really hurt, and it very much feels like it's coming. But if it does, maybe it won't be as catastrophic because he's not bothered by seemingly anything. He just keeps playing, and I think you just have to love his demeanor. And yeah, man, I'm very, very, very impressed by what I saw from Sam. I will take Daron Payne, though, as my #1 guy.
Seahawk.
The way that this dude just decided, bleep this, I am going to get this offense off the field right now and let our offense, which is cooking, see if they can continue their first half momentum on that first drive in the second half is something I haven't seen many players do ever. That was like Aaron Donald stuff. That was crazy. Just single-handedly destroying a series. And then, by the way, he kept being great. He had a key pressure later in the game on a very well-called blitz by Jack Del Rio, where he beats Mike McGlinchey. And Mike McGlinchey's like, how am I matched up on Daron Payne? Where's Montez Sweat? That's who I was ready for. I'm not ready for this guy. Not that McGlinchey was super ready for Montez most of the day either. But, I mean, he's playing at an all-pro level right now. Like, I think Daron Payne could make all-pro this year. I know that seems crazy because he just made his first Pro Bowl. He just got signed. And the depth of the position in the league is preposterously good. Like, you're talking about Dexter Lawrence and you know, Chris Jones. And when you're making all pro, it's not NFC. It's NFC and AFC. Obviously, Aaron Donald's still Aaron Donald. He's still playing. They got dudes in San Fran. They got dudes in Philly. They got, you know, guys all over the place that are awesome. I don't know how many better certainly through 2 weeks than Payne, and I don't think he's slowing down. I think this is who he is now. I think he's just a monster.
I mean, I agree. Again, you know, there were like 2 separate drives where, you know, it was Daron Payne doing everything. You got the TFL, you got the, you know, the pressure on
ball batted down.
Batted down. Like, he was everywhere. And
he makes plays like on the numbers at the sideline. Like he runs guys down.
Yep.
It's not like he just is a pass rush specialist and then it's like, if the ball is going outside, whatever. Like he plays his ass off every single play and he finishes plays.
Yep. And I think that's one thing, a lot of the coaches wanted him to be able to do, building up before he got his contract, and then he ended up getting his contract, and he's just, finishing like where he left off last season.
Yeah, without doubt. All right, who you got? You're up next.
Number 3, Mr. Hoffman. I'm gonna go with Eric Bieniemy.
I was wondering if you were gonna go this path. I was thinking about it. Talk to me.
Okay, I go with EB just because, again, the offense got off to an extremely slow start, but he didn't go away from like what he wanted to do. We still were able to run the ball and build off of being able to run the ball. That shot, all the way to Terry, that was because we were being able to run the ball effectively and then set up for a deep shot. So Eric Bieniemy being able to do that and then also get B-Rob involved in the screens. I would say we had 3 different screens to like 3 different guys, and that was
all effective.
Exactly, all effective down the field. I would have loved to see Cole Turner stay on his feet for that one because there was nobody in front of him. Nobody.
Yeah.
And then also you get everybody involved. I want to say there were like 7 different receivers that Sam Howell was able to connect with early and often. So just being able to use everybody. And we always talk about how deep we are as a team. And, he went out there, utilized everybody. You got Curtis Samuel involved, Jahan early, Terry, of course. So I think Eric Bieniemy, his play calling was something crazy, to be honest.
It was so good for 2.5 quarters. It's a little past happy for me early, but is what it is. I do wonder, though, is like maybe EB's passing so much early to just make B-Rob angry. And it's like, all right, you want to run it? We'll try it your way. Mm-hmm. Watch this, guys. He just obliterates people, which is why I think my number 4 is going to be Brian Robinson.
Okay.
He deserves a lot of love for what he did yesterday. As you said, the screen. Although I will say, my guy, I know you're afraid of getting caught from behind, and when you're out there running, you want to run fast. But when you are in space and you have a caravan of offensive linemen in front of you, running in front of them just means the defenders have access to you. So that was my one Brian Robinson critique. If you watch on that screen, he gets up on the back of the O lineman too fast, and it's like, dude, if you could just have an ounce more patience, your O lineman just murders the poor defensive back 20 yards down the field, and you probably score. But they still got a huge gain, and obviously B-Rob has been so good as a runner over his career, his young career, and was excellent yesterday, and he's become a complete player. He's a guy you can rely on. He's a guy you can put a lot of load on, and those backs are becoming rarer and rarer in the league of guys that, and not necessarily the guys that are capable, but guys that actually do it and produce week in, week out, because there's not that many that are asked to. And Robinson was asked to yesterday. Obviously Gibson does not get a lot of carries after the fumble. They have him in some very key situations, and I thought the usage of Gibson yesterday was fantastic. I actually would like to see him get a couple more running attempts, but I think he only had 2 carries on the game, and then the big screen pass late. But Robinson carrying the load, true RB1, and did it well yesterday. I'll take Brian Robinson as my second player here in our pick 6. We're picking the top 6 performers yesterday from the Commanders. I get 3. Anthony gets 3. He's got Howell and EB so far. I've got Daron Payne and Brian Robinson. And who's your last one?
My last one is going to be a defensive guy. It's going to be Chase Young. And I'm saying Chase Young just because I'm actually proud at, his performance. Yesterday he was able to record 3 tackles, also got a sack and a half. But this was just a huge game. A lot of people had been, sort of down on Chase in the offseason. He was brought up in a lot of, trade rumors and things of that nature. And him going out there, getting that sack and a half, equaling the sack total he had from 2 years ago prior to his injury. It was just good to see Chase really flash. And, Ron Rivera was asked about, Chase Young's performance earlier today and whether or not it reminded of him as a rookie. And he was like, yeah, he definitely showed that flash, and we're going to need more of that if we want to be successful. So Chase just going out there, shutting out all the noise, and being effective out there in the run and pass game is why he's my number 5 guy.
At the beginning of Alien Superstar, as in the Beyonce song,
Yeah,
when it's like, this a reminder, like that's what it felt like. Chase should have just like hit that and then just went and chased down Russell Wilson. And kind of appropriate because like Chase has been like Alien Predator man, the comparisons that people make or the analogies, whatever that is. He's not of this planet. The talent, the physical ability that he has, speed, power, all that kind of stuff. The question is the stuff that here on planet Earth is very important. Do you have the discipline to rush within the scheme week in and week out? And the thing that I found so impressive, and Logan and I talked about this last night on the pod, which of course you can listen to the live stream post game, or you can check it out in your podcast feeds first thing Monday morning. But like so actually I'll go back to the pregame. We talked about how Allen and Payne love rushing next to Sweat because they know that he will work with them. That he will, okay, Montez got cut inside, like I'll go outside. Or like if I get washed outside, Montez will come inside. If I get pushed up in the pocket, like Montez will cover for me. And the way that those duos work together amongst those three is super elite. And James Smith-Williams and Casey Toohill and F.A. Obata have done a great job making that a fairly easy thing to do as a foursome the past couple of years. And with Chase, it's like, well, we don't know where that fourth dude's going to be because he might get 12 yards up the field. He might try to bowl inside. Like, we don't know. He's out there rushing and like it's a one-on-one drill, and it's not. Like, we got to work together. There's a play late in this game where Chase goes inside and John loops around. It's a little TE stunt. And Russ sees Chase dive inside. And by the way, it's right after a play where Chase did the wrong thing, where Chase gets washed way up the field. And literally the next play, it's like John said, hey, man, just like work with me here. Or they just did, or what. I don't know if there's any communication about it. But Chase bowls inside, winds up picking the tackle, but also kind of breaking through. Picking the guard, but also breaking through. And Russ sees Chase coming. He's like, well, I got to go. This idiot's inside. Haha, I'm going to run outside. And he goes to run outside, and he realizes that John Allen's waiting on him. And I think Chase winds up getting a knockdown on that play. Or it might have even been the play that Chase and Montez meet at the quarterback. They're half sacked together, which was kind of like Commander's dreams coming true from the last 3 years when they drafted him. Like, God, okay, meet at the quarterback. They literally did. But to see that discipline and to see those guys work together, if Allen and Payne can get the same comfort with Chase as they have with Montez, that's going to be really special. And that's when this defense could elevate into the top 5 in the league. So Chase is a great call. I don't know that he's like truly one of the 6 best players yesterday, but he deserves a shout out. We're going to talk about the stuff he's got to grow on, just like we will with Sam. But you also, like with Sam, see the tremendous upside that he brings and the kind of high impact, high caliber play that the guys that are behind him just can't make. With all due respect to those guys who are very, very solid, good NFL football players. All right, that leaves me with the pick of the litter, huh? I could go Terry McLaurin. I could go Emmanuel Forbes and his first pick. I could go
Jamin.
I could go Jamin. I could go Tress Way if I wanted to pull an accurate wacky bit. He had a couple of really nice punts yesterday, and he's had to deal with Cameron Cheeseman snaps. I think I'm going to go Jamin. He was good yesterday. Like, they get caught early in that game, a couple of, crossing routes and things, and obviously the touchdown is more, quote-unquote, on Cody Barton. That's a tough play, man. Like, I know everyone wants to kill Barton because it's a hobby horse, and, they want it. Should they have done better at that position in the offseason? Maybe. Are they using Jamin and Cody right? I think we're still a couple of games away from really understanding. But, like, as much fun as we made of Scott Turner for calling mesh on every 3rd and 4th down, there's a reason mesh is a great concept. 3rd down, 4th down, red zone. You get a lot of traffic across the middle, and there's a lot of communication that's supposed to happen. And if you hit it, like, great, and then you'd be forced very tough throws, and the receivers who would run against man coverage wind up having to sit down and find these very tiny windows, and it's a 5-yard gain. But what often happens is, especially in like some of these zone match coverages, is you think you're chasing a guy, all of a sudden there's another guy screaming across the other way. You're trying to figure out, as you're about to run into each other as a linebacker and a DB, who's supposed to go where, and that's how they get their first, second, third. It wasn't the one to Mims. Mims was the second touchdown. Was that the third touchdown? The crossing route? Yeah.
That was the third one.
The first one was the rushing touchdown. So, tough break, and obviously that first drive, your linebackers could do a lot better. But Jamin makes the play that changes the game, and he's super solid in most snaps yesterday. He's going to grade out very well. His PFF grade was very good for this game. I already checked it. I don't remember it, but I think it was in the 70s. But he makes the play, and someone had to be the one to stop the bleeding, and it was him. And that's the thing. These first-round guys, and we just talked about it at length with Chase, Jamin, Montez, Duran, John, Emmanuel Forbes, who has his first career pick yesterday, and if he had kept his feet, it would have been a pick 6. What separates a first-rounder and a third-rounder and a fifth-rounder, third and fifth-rounders, they can be solid football players. Rarely are they playmakers. Your first-rounders are either literally never making mistakes, or they are playmakers. And this team has playmakers. And the Chase Young model and the Emmanuel Forbes model and the Jamin Davis model of first rounder is, they're going to mess some stuff up every once in a while. They're going to take a gamble because they're athletic enough that they can take gambles and have them pay off in their favor with some level of regularity. But those gambles sometimes are going to hurt you. And when they pay off, they're going to pay off in ways that your average player could never dream of. And that's the kind of thing with Jamin. And yesterday, look, he chases down a mobile quarterback. I don't know that it seems that superhuman on its level, but to get him before he gets to the sideline, because he's so fast to be able to get there, if that's Cody Barton, all due respect to Cody, or, Khalid Hudson or David Mayo for sure, they might recognize that play and chase Russell Wilson down, but Russell probably gets to the sidelines. Jamin gets there so fast, he's able to knock the ball out while also getting away with the face mask. And that changes the game. So, I type it down, make it official. Jamin Davis, he gets our 6th star. I like the way we did that there. 5 and 6. I don't know if Chase and Jamin are the actual 5th and 6th best players yesterday, but they sure deserve recognition and played massive roles in winning the football game.
Yep.
The other thing that I'm going to shout out, bonus real quick, just because we haven't talked about them at all yet. Maybe there'll be a little bit more next. We're going to play some of the Ron Rivera sound next. I'm just going to shout out the offensive line in general. They did not have a clean, great game, obviously. But they faced adversity early, and then they were really good the rest of the day. And they deserve credit. And this is a unit that has taken a lot of flack. And they took a lot of flack before they ever played a game. And then they have taken some extra flack from certain corners of the fan base because they don't actually understand that a lot of these sacks are the fault of their beloved young quarterback. And yesterday, there was one speed rush where Charles Leno got whipped pretty good. There's some other issues that come up throughout the game. But those dudes balled out in that 32-3 run. And that includes some of the screen passes. Nick Gates was fantastic in those situations. The pass protection was good. You don't get some of the deeper stuff like the Terry touchdown without good pass pro. And so shout out to the offensive line who, we mentioned Sam. I mentioned B-Rob as well. Those guys aren't productive without the big fellas up front. So shout out, bonus, pick 6. I'll pick the 5 of them to give a little extra shout out. Oh, 6 because Ricky Stromberg came in for a step.
Yep.
Boom. I made it work. All right, it's the Hoffman Show. We're on the Team 980. We're always live as well on the free Odyssey app. And when we get back, you'll hear from Ron Rivera on the good, the bad, and the ugly from yesterday's game.
This is the Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and the Odyssey app.